Verse 4 says, behold, God is my helper. The Lord is with those who uphold my life. Watch verse 5. He will repay my enemies for their evil. Cut them off in your truth. The matter with revenge is that revenge is the desire to get even when someone does you wrong. It is an opportunity to retaliate. But what David is telling us in verse 5 is that God will repay my enemies for their evil. That's the core issue. Sometimes we want to take it in our own hands. We're not waiting on God to deal with it in His time. We want to deal with it right now. Verse 6 says, I will freely sacrifice to you. I will praise your name, O Lord, for it is good. For He has delivered me out of all trouble, and my eye has seen its desire upon my enemies. We are here today, and many of us have had experiences and are going through an experience where we have a formidable foe. We have someone who chips away at our happiness, our joy. We have someone in our lives, within our circles, who the devil intimately uses to afflict us. The issue with that is, what kind of heart do I have in the midst of all of that? In the midst of knowing I have this person at my back, am I thinking, am I plotting, am I thinking of scenarios in which this person is going to meet their fate? Am I returning evil for evil? Those are the questions for the believer to wrestle with. Because the fact of the matter is, God didn't tell us that in this world everyone would be kind. God never promised us that in this life everyone would be considerate of our feelings, our emotions. But God said that we ought to love each other, amen? God said that we are to repay good instead of evil. And some people are saying, this message does not make sense. How do I simply just turn the other cheek? How do I turn a blind eye when someone is there who's willingly trying to pluck out my eyes? So here it is for you. The Bible tells us that when your enemy is hungry, feed him. But does the Bible say that when your enemy has a sword in their hand, make sure you turn your back and close your eyes? The Bible never told me that I should be a fool. Later on in the story of Abner, he's going to die like a fool. Because he's going to turn his back on Joab, and Joab is going to thrust a knife in his back. So I'm not here to say to anyone that after somebody has thrust a sword in your back, you're to turn around and give them a high five. Or you are to pretend, well, I'm a Christian and I just love you. It doesn't matter what you do. You want to hurt me again? Sure, let's do it. The Bible doesn't teach fools to be fools. But the Bible teaches us that we must be wise, amen? But that we must not allow evil to govern our actions. That's the issue. We must not allow the devil's whispers to dictate our attitudes. So though you are after me, I know who you are. I know you're an enemy, but I'm not like you. I don't hate you. I'm going to pray for you. A friend of mine was sharing a story with me of his girlfriend that he used to be involved with. They were dating and all of these things for a good while, actually, a couple of years. Christian couple. They were courting, that's the better term. Totally committed to her. They were talking about marriage and all these wonderful things, but they're going to buy whether it's going to be a house or a condo. And they had made all these plans. What he didn't know is that this girl that he was planning to spend his life with was making other plans with his friend. He had no clue. I'm laughing, but I really don't mean to laugh. You're talking about someone's heart, amen? So this person gave his heart to this girl. It just so happened that over the course of time, that she stopped calling him like she used to. When they would see each other, she stopped holding his hand. He said, where you want to hold my hand? Oh, your hands are sweaty. You know, little things like that. Her demeanor, her countenance changed towards him. Now, he was at a crossroads. Watch this. In his heart, he knew that this woman doesn't love him. But the other path was, I know she really cares about me. She's just acting strange, but I know she really loves me. So it became worse, church. Now they weren't going to church anymore. She was going to another church. And when he'd offer to go with her, she'd say, well, no, maybe next week. And this became a trend. Again, he came to the crossroads where wisdom was telling him, move on. This is not the person for you. But the emotions was telling him, well, you got to fight for her, even if she doesn't want you. And I'm not going to tell you what he saw one day when he was on his walk, reminiscing this path that they would always take. And he was there crying, emotional, allowing the emotions to govern his actions. And he was walking along this path. And then he saw two people ahead of him. And he couldn't help but say, she looks familiar. And then he went back to another memory and he thought, that's the same jacket I got her. Wow, they're so in love. As he walked closer and closer, it was the jacket that he bought. And it was the girl that he thought it was. But she was linked with another man. For many years, that same man wanted revenge. He wanted to see both of those people dead. In fact, he wished they could get into car accidents. So many different things passed through his mind. And the point of that is this. As a Christian, we can allow our emotions to take hold of us. We can allow our emotions to dictate the manner in which we live from day to day. But emotions should not control us. The Word of God should control us, because the Word of God doesn't have to rely on emotions. It's God's principles on paper. So what we're saying is, as it relates to revenge, let God deal with it. Let God deal with revenge. Because he says in Romans 12, verse 17 and beyond, vengeance is mine, I will repay. I'll deal with it. But the truth of the matter is, some people want God to hurry up. let's go on, Lord. Come on. It's time for retribution. It's time for those people who have hurt me to feel their own wrath. It's time for them to suffer like we did. But God is saying, imagine I rushed the process when I was calling you. Imagine I waited until you did the same sinful act again and then I zapped you. God is saying, I'm a merciful God. But I'm not so merciful that I no longer have justice. I want to tell someone today, if there is someone in your life who has hurt you and they continue to hurt you, remove yourself from that person. And remove the anger that is connected with that person too. Otherwise, the devil will use it to trap you. But you can be free. Jesus said that the truth shall set you free. And he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through me. So in other words, I can't get over this issue on my own. I got to do it through the power of Jesus Christ. And Proverbs tells us, when you see your enemy